Hi, I'm the victorious Veganista, and today I am making one of my favorite sandwiches. Is the vegan barbecue sandwich, which is the main ingredients, as you see, is the jackfruit. You can get it fresh and you can get it in the can. So I didn't find any fresh, so today I used the can. I rinsed it really well from the brine, and then let it dry a little bit. No more water in here. And I cut it. The reason I do this, you see this how nice it looks like. Look, looks like it's flaky. It's like beef, like chicken, whatever, like pork. So I cut, you'll see like hard part in it, like this in here. You don't want really something hard in your mouth as you chew on it. So if you like, you just cut the hard part like this. And then I use those, put it in my little blender and chop them so I don't throw them away. They're really hard here. And then this is the rest of the ingredients. Soyaki, it consists of teriyaki and soy sauce. So this is the soy sauce and the teriyaki sauce together. Liquid smoke. This is the tomato paste, and this is the hot pepper paste. It is optional, hot or mild. So if you use the hot, you don't use the hot paprika. And this is the apple cider and roasted and ground mustard seeds and roasted and ground cumin. I roast my seeds and then I ground them fresh. And this is my homemade, see this? I roast my tomatoes with onions and garlic, and this is my homemade paste for that. And here the greens and the peppers and the onions are for the topping inside the sandwich. And the main thing here is my dates. I don't use sugar, I use dates. But if you have to use sugar, please use coconut sugar or almond, something more more healthy than just regular sugar. And that's the ingredients for this meal. So I now chopped the little parts that I cut, the rough parts, and I didn't throw it away. I just chop it and put this over the sauteed onions to saute it with the onions first before I go to the next step. But I used my Ninja, and I love this little machine. It's so nice. I don't have to get my big food processor. So I'm gonna put this over the onions and show you the rest of the recipe. And now I put most of my ingredients in my cast iron pan. I like to use a cast iron pan. I already roasted my onions a little bit, not much, just to get like translucent a little bit. This is my dates. I kind of pressed them and smushed them a little bit. This is what's going to give you the texture, as I said, of the little bit dry meat or tough meat in the sandwich, which is the top parts of the jackfruit that I cut and chopped, and all my spices and all my liquids. So I'm going to cook this together. So I'm going to cook this together for about 5 minutes. So the spices, the aroma, all this get into the onions, and then give the chance to the top parts to cook a little bit more. Artichoke hearts and the rest of the sauce here, and cook it until it starts boiling for about 5 minutes. When it gets to boil, I reduce the heat and let it cook for another maybe 10, 12 minutes more. We'll see how. Somehow jackfruits are different than others, so maybe 10 to 15 minutes total cooking after this, and we'll see how that is. Okay, now I let this cook a few minutes together. As you see, it's still very thick. Okay, I'm going to add the jackfruit, and if you see like some are big pieces, you see this will cook very easy. I like to keep it that way because as you stir it and fluff it, it will become small chunks, and I like mine sometimes. See, I see this little bit rough piece, and I'm just going to do that. So I'm cooking the jackfruit here. I put like 3 tablespoons of your choice of oil. Actually, I use the grape oil and my onions, and I'm going to saute this together just for the topping. And then what I'm going to add to this, salt and pepper, and maybe a few drops of smoked paprika at the end. We'll see how that is, and so it'll give it that smoky taste. Now I need to go back to this. I need to add some water. And put all my sauce here that left. I can already smell the barbecue smell. So after I mix it well, I will cover it and I let this cook 10-15 minutes, as I said, depending on the texture of the jackfruit. And this will give you the best or a great, yummy, delicious vegan barbecue sandwiches. I made a lot because I'm sharing this with my family and friends. This will probably look like Mexican sandwiches, hopefully. So I'm gonna now let it just boil on high, and then I will cover. I think it needs more water. And as you go, you could see, and you might want to add water more later, depending on how you like it, how soft and how runny you like your barbecue. So this now, I'm going to cover, lower it, the heat, and cook it on low. And we come back. Okay, now I'm letting this roast. You know, you don't want it to really get cooked, and then I'm going to put a few drops of the liquid smoke to give it that smoky taste. And I'm always generous, so I'm going to add a few drops in here. And let's cook this cook, okay? And then we'll see how that is. Make it like a little bit light brown, translucent, light brown, and I need to add salt, actually, into this. Okay, now I'm letting this roast. You know, you don't want it to really get cooked, and then I'm going to put a few drops of the liquid smoke to give it that smoky taste. And I'm always generous, so I'm going to add a few drops in here. And let's cook this cook, okay? And then we'll see how that is. Make it like a little bit light brown, translucent, light brown, and I need to add salt, actually, into this. That's the problem. Okay, now I'm going to put a little salt, so I'm just, you know, just a little bit like this. I did not measure. And stir it up a little bit like this. If you like, you could add pepper, but I like to add hot pepper to the sandwich. It's like jalapenos, slices of jalapenos, so I don't add to this. So I'm going to let this cook for another 5 minutes. I'm going to put it on high, so I want the onions not to stay like juicy that much, and just give it a little color, and that would be it. It doesn't have to be all the way roasted. Okay? So let's check. Look at this beauty. Oh my goodness. It smells amazing. I did not add any salt because all the sauces, you know, the soyaki and all the sauces might have salt. So I always cook and then add the salt at the end. And some, like vegetables and things, if you put salt, they won't cook enough. They'll take longer time to cook. So I try not to put salt at the beginning. This needs a little bit more water. I can see. I'm going to add a little bit more water. Stir it and cover it and let it on low heat. Okay, see, it's almost ready. Okay, and it looks like barbecue. And this is like, for example, this is a piece I did not cut the hard part of it. And look, it's very hard. It's a little bit hard, not very hard, but it's hard a little bit. So it's going to taste like rough meat in your mouth, which is fine. Rough piece of meat, like the outside of the barbecue shoulder or whatever they use. You know, that rough, dark, charred piece of the meat when they barbecue it. So if I see it, I just split it like this, and look, it looks like chunks. See it? So I'm gonna let this cook and not uncover it at all for 5 more minutes, and it will be ready in 5 more minutes. Okay, see, this is done. This is beautiful. And that little smoked paprika, liquid smoke, see, it gave it very nice taste. And after I move the onions, the veggies, I'm gonna heat my buns like this in here. So I'll move the veggies and I'll turn the stove on a little bit for like 1 minute and just kind of like toast my buns in here. It takes all the juices out of the pan, which just makes it taste better. Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at this beauty, yummy, vegan barbecue, ready to eat. I'm so ready to eat my sandwiches. Now, see, it took, as I said, it took about 15 to 20 minutes. This took about, maybe 16, 17 minutes. So look at this. Look at this. Look at this chunk. See it? Look. I mean chunks. So I am very excited about this, and I'm happy the way it turned out. And we are ready to eat. This probably will make 10 sandwiches. Okay? So this is the end results of the preparation and the cooking for the vegan barbecue. It looks amazing and it tastes really yummy and delicious. So we're gonna make the sandwiches, and as I said, I roasted the bread, the buns in the same pan where I roasted the tomatoes and the peppers, okay? I hope you like this.